Well, hello there, one and all. I am blocked by a horse. Oh, now it's eating my brains. Very good. But I look like a badass while my brains are getting eaten, so it's pretty cool. Oh, wait. Let's do this. Do. Wave. He ran away before I could greet him. I will greet this person instead. Wave. And this person shall get the triple wave. Very cool and good. How are you all doing today? I hope you are doing just peachy keen fantastic. I'm here with the wonderful, awesome Yamina, of course. I've gotten some upgrades. I've leveled up a bit. You can tell I'm wearing more armor now. I have a big, cool sword that's very pointy. Look at how pointy it is. Look at the little parts on it here that have sharpness pointing out. And I also have a Sigmar comment on my sword because Sigmar's cool and he fights the chaos, and the chaos is the badness. And the chaos goes, but then we go, and they go, know what I mean? Jim Dean? I hope that you are all having a wonderful day. And I am just going to talk about a few little things here while I run around the town. And also, check this out. This is a training construct, and he has cool armor. Doesn't he look neat? Looks like he might have a skull on the inside there. I love me some skulls, as you know. Let's see. Oh, that one doesn't have a skull. But this one has a skull. That's interesting. Ooh. Look at that big old statue of Sigmar. That's pretty cool, too. And, you know, one of the cool things about, like, learning about, like, so, like, there's this concept, right, of, like, non-duality. Like, because, like, duality is, like, a concept of, like, there's separateness. And, like, duality in terms of religion typically means... Oh, I have a message. Duality in terms of religion typically means, like, there's a separation between God and the universe. But non-duality means that, you know, there is not a separation between God and the universe. And I would just say that, in fact, ooh, needle. There's not a separation. And one of the things that's interesting if you learn about Vedanta and Tantra, especially non-dual Tantra, obviously, is that the concept is basically that, you know, everything is God. So, like, this gate is made of God in a sense. It's made of Brahman. You know, it's made of consciousness, sheer consciousness, bliss, all that cool stuff. And, you know, you're made of it, and then your clothes are made of it. Heck, even your poop's made of it. Even a rabbit's made of it. Everything. You know, pretty neat. And the thing that's interesting about this is if you apply this to your relationships and people, you would say that, oh, so everybody's in essence God. Huh, that's interesting. And you know, you can still pray and stuff, but some people take it to where they basically do a thing where they like don't really worry about prayer or things like that, and it's more like about like meditation and connecting with Brahman. And then other people are more like, you know, like me, they like the bhakti. I love bhakti, and bhakti is like loving devotion. I love and devote myself to Ma Kali because she's just real cool. And I love being with the cool lady and talking to her and being like, hello, I would like to offer you my worship, please and thank you. Hello, I am here to be your simp. Oh man, I could barely finish that without laughing. Ooh, I like this person's outfit. Let's have no way with them. Ooh, that's a cool lion. Wait, okay. Um, I like your lion. It is very neat. There we go. That way they can know that their line is neat in case they didn't. Although, I mean, you gotta admit, you look at that line, you're like, oh, neat. Puppy! Oh my god, puppy! Wait, is there a way? Oh, okay, let's do. You look very cool. You look very cool. There we go. And that way they know they look really cool. I got a friend. Sometimes you just gotta make. Oh boy! Now let's go to troll country and get us some troll meat. Delicious, delicious troll meat. Because your meat needs to grow into a big Amazon lady. Although she's already pretty big and powerful, you know. I mean, if you look at her, you'd be like, wow, it's a lot of power. But, you know, the interesting thing about like the non-duality of things is it means that everybody's got an innocence. Oh, even though it is basic looks, you still look neato. Okay, right now, so I'm not distracted. But so the interesting thing about this is that like one of the ways uh of devotion, especially like in non-dualism, see, because the thing that always occurs to me when I think about non-dualism is that means on some level, you know, like there isn't like pure and impure, right? There's only because if everything's ultimately God, then how can anything be truly impure if it's already, you know, made of God? Now there are things that you can't necessarily that aren't necessarily good for you, for you know, for instance, like certain kinds of like bacteria and stuff, although they are still God, are still not necessarily good for you. So you know you should try to avoid them. Or like you know, there's certain things like you know you don't want to swim through a sewer because of, you could get sick and things like that. Or you know, if a cobra bites you, you know the cobra's venom is very good for the cobra, but it's not necessarily good for you. You get what I mean, Jimmy Dean? So that's just something for you to consider. But ultimately, this kind of also puts you in a different. Oop, I've jumped on barrel. What, can I jump on this? I can't. Maybe. It seems like they really don't want me to do this. Okay, sorry. Up, up, jump. There we go. Cool. Ah, cool. I can reach from up here. Okay, maybe not. This seems like it's really not meant for me to be on. Let's see here. I like that is a shirt. There we go. Oh well. Interesting comments. We'll deal with those later. But so the interesting thing about this is that to me this also means that everybody deserves, you know, love and some attention and things like that. Now, that doesn't mean that nobody's going to be annoying or anything like this, but it also relates to something else, which is I think pretty interesting. If you're like me and you are very much, I love the gold. Gold is so cool, Makali, you're so cool, and stuff like that. Or if you just want to be a generally good person, you can turn everything into an act of devotion, an act of being like, you know, being a good person. You can turn anything into an act of devotion. And what I mean by that is like you can take all of your actions and offer them up, and you know, like I do to like Makali, or you know, offer them up to God or whatever. Or even if you want to, you can offer them up to ideals, and like so you constantly keep ideals in mind. But I constantly offer up my actions to Makali. Like everything I eat, I offer to Makali before I eat it. You know, when I go to work, I always do it with the intention of serving Makali. When I help people out, like, you know, like, for instance, somebody recently got evicted and I gave them a little bit of money and I was just talking to them and, like, helping them, like, you know, deal with some of the stress and stuff like that. Like, but that was all for Makali, ultimately. It's not, you know, just cause it's for Makali. And it's to strengthen my relationship with, getting ahead. What is this? Ooh! I didn't have. Can I reply? Oh, I had to put in the name. I don't know. Is that a Nito Skeeto? But I got a bouquet. But I think they were a little confused because I didn't actually die. So, hmm. Ooh. It gave me some armor stuff, I think. That's neat. But yeah, so like I make everything an offering to Makali. Like even playing this video game is in a sense offering to Makali, because while I do it, I constantly think of God. I constantly think of trying to do the right thing. I constantly think of like being a good person and always trying to put my best foot forward. And I try not to do things in video games that would I wouldn't do in real life. I mean, like some stuff like with the violence and stuff like that. It's like yeah, okay, yeah, it's a video game, but like I try to like, for instance, like I want to play classes where I'm not like being a necromancer or like doing like like hurting people. Like part of the reason I don't really do chaos characters is because the whole part of the first part of that campaign is like needless violence. Whereas being a night lady here, I'm defending people and I'm looking cool while I do it, and I jump around and feel cool. Um, and that's very good and I think very important. I just want to. Oh, nice. Yeah, I gotta like read these people's messages. Here, you know what? I will pause the video and I will come back because I want to be nice and respond to people's messages. Okay, that didn't take very long, but I don't necessarily want to. I told the one person who said that, like, oh yeah, they even look good naked. Well, actually, here you can just. Let's see here. This is true, but the best thing is to appreciate them as people and all that fun stuff. Yeah, because you gotta appreciate people. But you see, like I think that constantly invoking like the will to do the right thing, it's very nice. And like putting yourself into like a life of like devotion and service, and don't necessarily have to be devoted to God if that's not really your thing. But if you want to be like devoted to like, oh, I don't want to go into RVR right this second, thank you, I'm just kind of wandering around and talking. But if you want, you should devote yourself to living a good life and devote yourself to um being kind and like to looking out for others and to trying to be a positive influence in the world. And I've always said this stuff, but the thing that's interesting to me is specifically if you're on like a bhakti path, like you can take all of your actions and dedicate them to God. You know what? Like you go to eat a hot dog, say, hey, God, you don't have to do anything outside. Like if you don't want to, you don't have to like do any like external rituals. External rituals can be helpful. I just noticed that if you look at my little thing up there, the hilt of my sword is actually covering my face. That's kind of funny. But you don't have to do anything like that. But you can like say, like internally in your head, like, hey, this is for you, this is for the God within me, this is for you in general, and offer all your food up, for instance. You can like every time you're going out into the world, just like say, hey, I'm going out into the world and I'm gonna make a positive difference, and I'm gonna, you know, um, all my actions, I offer them up to you. And honestly, the thing that's really funny to me is like, as I offer up my actions, I find that there's a lot of things, just like little things, like it gets harder to complain about people. It gets harder to be rude to people. It gets harder to, you know, barf on their carpet so that you give them a hairball. It gets generally much more difficult to do that because you're like, well, no, if they're God, and if I truly love them, and if I want to offer all my actions up to God, well, I shouldn't be doing certain things. And the thing that was funny about this is I noticed that my behavior didn't change tremendously at first. It took a while, but the longer I kept at it and the more I dedicated myself wholeheartedly to it. It was like, you just generally start to feel like you're just doing the right thing. And I think that's also interesting about this to me is that also means that you can't say that anybody's uh like inferior or anything like you can't be a racist and believe this, right? You can't like be a sexist and believe this because like that means that every woman that's walking, I mean, she's a representation of the divine mother. It's a form of the divine mother. Every man that's walking is also a form of the divine mother, just because I mean, like Shakti, but like, or it's like it's a form of Shiva. Like every woman is Shiva, every man is Shiva, every tree is Shiva. This beautiful tree right here, this cool, weird, kind of crooked tree, is just yet another manifestation of Shiva, or Shakti, or whatever you want to call it. If or it's just another manifestation of consciousness. If you don't want to go for the God angle, you can do all this stuff, and you can see that means that you need to be respectful and mindful and think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I get it. It's not always easy to do that, and sometimes it's difficult, but it's very helpful, and it's very interesting to see, like, because that means that even though these wolves, for instance, if I ran over, oh hello, ran into Sigmar, are you? Oh, Ulrich, I'm sorry. Touch the stone and okay, I'll bring Ulrich. Why not? That was a very easy quest. But no, that's another thing too. Is like like all of these different manifestations, like Jesus, or there's certain like Amida Buddha. Amida Buddha, in case you don't know, is like the Pure Land Buddha. Um, like the Shinto deities, Thor, Ulrich, even these fictional deities in some sense. It's all part of the greater manifestation of God. Like God is beyond all of these small manifestations. It is in fact the greater manifestation. It is everything, and it's just like, so that also means that people, no matter what religion they're a part of or no matter what they're doing, like they can still connect to the divine and they can still do good things. And even if you don't believe in God, it's like you know what, you can still do great things and you're still worthy of respect and love and care. You know, I like these mountains. These mountains are, well, these aren't really mountains. I think these are like big hills, basically, or small mountains. What's a small mountain? Is there like I'm guessing there's like a measurement where it changes from hill to mountain. I need to learn more geology, but like all of this is present, and the other thing that's funny about this is if you think about it, is like people say that like for instance certain things are holy, like like uh holy water, or like water from the Ganges, or like sacred ash or whatever, and it's like if you invest the belief in it and you really want to use that to get closer to God, because God will come closer to you no matter what way you use, provided you really keep that intention in mind. At least that's what I found. um but the thing about it is like that stuff is not any more sacred than anything else. I mean, it's part of the reason I like the Agoris so much is because they really dedicate themselves to this, like like meat eating, like that. Sometimes they engage in cannibalism and other crazy rituals, and they are like one of those groups of people that people will point at and go, oh my god, so crazy, stuff like that. But wait a minute, is that the no, we're in troll country. I was about to say, is that the starter area for um because it looked kind of reminded me of the starter area for chaos. But like, hmm, I can go over there and fight chaos guys. But like it's all ultimately from the same source, and like breaking down these barriers and breaking down the stuff that's like preventing you from embracing other people is very important. And remembering that there's not just any one way to do things. There's infinite ways to do things, and people, the great thing is that it's so open and people can approach life and God and how whatever else you're after. They can approach it in so many different ways, and it's kind of like you know, like it's not restrictive. You know, if somebody wants to do something different than you, that doesn't mean that they're wrong. Now, you do need to keep in mind that sometimes people's actions can harm others, and sometimes people need to be stopped from doing actions that are hurting other people just because it's, a duty to be righteous as possible, but in the sense of like, helping others and not like harming people and things like that. Cold water in the water. Like it's interesting to think about. For instance, like you should always be trying to do good, I think. And there is that whole question about like, yeah, well, what does it mean to be good? And you can get into some debates about some of that stuff, I suppose. But oh, who the heck is that? Oh, it's a guy. How do I not be focused and angry looking? I just wanted to see if he could get him. Oh, he's doing okay. Yeah, no, he's got this. Grog, I have you. Still pretty cool. I'm gonna back up just a little bit. Huh. The guy's armor looks cool too. But yeah, like, you should always be trying to do the best you can and like be striving. And the thing that's interesting is that people always say that a lot of this stuff is hard, and it's like, well, that's why you start with the smaller stuff and then work your way up to the greater things, you know? Can I? I'm gonna wave to this man. Oh. Okay, bye. This guy's different looking. Got a thin mustache. But oh wait, is it so this is oh, it's not a public quest for me because I guess I'm in like the chaos area? That's kind of interesting. I wonder if I'll see more chaos people around. But that's like one of the things too is that you gotta also be willing to put in the effort. And that's like one of the big things just in general with life and just like being good is that you have to be willing to put in the effort. But if you're willing to put in the effort, you may be surprised at how much it can, pay off for you and how much good you can get out of it. And why not be friendly? Just this might sound silly, but as an example, why not be friendly to people in Warhammer Online? Why not be friendly with people you meet anywhere you go? Why not, do as much as you can to reach out to other people and try to do good things? And why not try to be a good, pretty Empire lady with a cool sword? I think that's very good to be. But yeah, I just wanted to share those thoughts. Just like the idea that everybody deserves respect, and everything is essentially part of God, and that means that there's nothing really impure, and that also means that you can move past a lot of hatred and denial and other things. And I could probably get more into these ideas, but that would probably need to be a little bit more structured. But anyway, I don't know. I just felt like sharing all that thought and stuff. And remember, I hope you have a great day. Also, look, there's Yetis. Yetis are neat. Kind of scary though. Wait, can I? I wave to the Yeti. All right, have a great one.